In the days that followed, King Zephyr wanted to grant Toya a wish, but Toya said he didn't need a reward. Then King Tristwin said that Toya is very humble. He was glad that he nevertheless agreed to marry his daughter. So King Zephyr had the idea that Toya also marries his daughter Lu. This would strengthen the relationship between the two kingdoms. Suddenly, Yumina interrupted the king's conversation. She said that she had already spoken to Lu, and that Princess Lu would approve of marrying Riz Master Toya. Toya was shocked that he was getting another wife, and Princess Lu was happy that she is now also engaged to Toya. Later, Lu celebrated that she is now officially engaged to Toya as well, and the other girls congratulated her. Afterwards, Toya said he isn't old enough to get married now. The kings replied that they didn't expect them to marry immediately. However, his friend Leon cheered him up. Also, the kings wanted to announce the engagement to the citizens of the kingdoms as soon as possible. Suddenly, Toya found out that he was given a small land between the two kingdoms. He would then become king of the gifted land, and could set the laws. Toya didn't want to be king, but he knew that the two kings leaves him no choice. Then we see Toya and his girls coming up with names for his new kingdom. So Toya decided to name his kingdom Brunhilde. After that, they considered coming up with a plan for their move to their own nation. So Toya considered building a new mansion. Suddenly Lu appeared. She made up for Toya. Toya said she looks cute in her outfit. However, Lu suggested that Toya could build a castle, because he will be a future king. Toya looked at castles, but he had no idea about the constructions. So Rosetta appeared to help her master. Below we see Toya in the workshop of Babylon. Rosetta told him that he can build a castle in his workshop. As a result, Toya was overwhelmed with a lot of information. He got angry, and Lu gave Toya a great idea of building their castle. In the days that followed, we see the new castle was built. Toya was shocked that Rosetta was able to completely build a castle in just 3 days. Then Rosetta showed the girls around their new home. Suddenly, Lean appeared behind Toya. She is surprised that he is now becoming a king. Toya said he doesn't want to be the future king of his own nations, or the king of Belfast. He said there is also the possibility of not becoming a king if Yumina gets a little brother. Leon then said that she became the ambassador of Mistmead. Later, Toya built a teleportation room. Reen also appeared, and Toya wanted to test his teleportation room. So Toya asked Reen to put her hand on the door. As a result, a portal opened, and Toya's new invention was a complete success. Suddenly Reen showed him a letter. He was called to King Tristwin. Followed, he met the king of Refreeze. He wanted to establish good relations between Toya's new nation. However, Toya thought that he must marry the perverted Princess Riri. The king said his daughter is already engaged to someone, and Toya was relieved. Following, he said that he would be happy if Toya would show him around his new nation Brunhilde. Toya saw through the two. They just wanted to go on vacation. Over the next few weeks, Toya turned his new castle into a holiday paradise. He built many games for entertainment. The girls were happy to test the new games, and they had a lot of fun. Then Toya relaxed with Francesca on the massage seats, and Toya was called by Elsa. She played mahjong with the other girls, and Elsa was a pro mahjong player. Toya was shocked, and he couldn't believe that she played mahjong for the first time. After that, all his fiancées were relaxing on the massage seats, and the maids cleaned the rooms. Tsubaki then showed up for a visit. Toya was happy to see her again. Then Toya learned that they have problems back in Ishin. Tsubaki said that a tyrant has appeared, who is trying to enslave the people. They couldn't do something against him. As a result, the generals of the Takeda clan all wanted to take refuge in the new nation of Toya. Toya didn't mind, and he allowed them to move into his new nation. In the afternoon, the Takeda generals thanked Toya for allowing them to move into his new nation. Followed, Toya asked if he can meet the 4th general. Following this, Toya met General Kosaka, who wanted to help Toya establish trade relations. So he gave Toya a lot of advice, and they built roads, fields, and new houses on his land. Toya managed to build a small village for the new residents in just a short time. In addition, he had built a path for tourists to visit his new city too. Then we see Lu. She was still nervous, because she didn't want to be a burden to Toya. So the other girls cheered her up, and she was looking forward. A few days later, Toya continued to build his new nation, and the children were greeting Toya. Then Lu showed up. She cooked him a delicious bento for lunch. She was nervous since it was her first time cooking a bento. Toya replied that her food is delicious. Then Toya said she looks cute, and she blushed. In the days that followed, Toya's holiday paradise for the royal family started. They all had a great time at Toya's new home. Then Leon said that Toya had performed a miracle, because he had united many kingdoms. Then Sushi showed up. She wanted to play with Toya. The other kings also wanted to play with Toya. In the evening, Toya created a fireworks and told the knights that nobody is attacking them. So the royal families watched the beautiful fireworks, which was created with bombs. After that, Lu thanked Toya, because she was happy to experience such a nice time with him. Suddenly, Toya gave her an engagement ring and she was proud to be Toya's fiancé. Then Toya proved he's a true Rizzler, and he knew Lu wanted to hold his hands. A few days later, we see Toya's group in a huge cave on the mountains. They were looking for Santa Claus, but they only found a new ruin. Then Toya jumped into a secret trapdoor. He discovered another Babylon ruin, so he transmitted his magic in the teleportation circle. Toya was teleported to a room in Babylon, and he found a building. Suddenly, Bellflora introduced herself. She told him about the alchemy ward, and Toya was surprised by her big boobs. Toya then related that he was accepted as a master by the other guardians of the Babylon Islands. Flora could sense his Riz aura, and she wanted to test him. So she forced Toya to massaging her breasts. Toya was overwhelmed, and he was recognized as her new master. After the kiss, Toya couldn't believe that he had received another perverted servant. Toya was shocked by the passionate kiss he got from Flora. After that, Toya was shown around the alchemy ward. He then learned that many different medicines are manufactured in the laboratory. Then Flora showed him a room full of potions that invoke special abilities. Followed, Toya learned that Professor Regina made many different sexual enhancers. Later on, Lean was disappointed that they didn't find the Library of Babylon. Then the other girls met Flora, and the girls were jealous of her big breasts. Yahi tried to calm Yumina and Lu, and she cheered them up. After that, Lean said Toya could help the growing of their breasts, if they massaged them. Suddenly Flora confessed that Toya kissed her and massaged her breasts. The girls got angry, and he apologized to them. When he got home, Reen brought him his newly ordered books, and he wanted to learn a new magic. Following this, Toya tried to cast outside of his home the spell fly. He could learn it immediately, so Toya flew into the sky. Toya became Super Toya, and he could fly through the sky at super speed with ease. After using the spell, he felt sick and rested on Elsa's lap. She asked him if he could cast the fly spell on her. Toya replied that it isn't possible to transfer the spell to another person. He said he could carry her in his arms while flying. Suddenly Toya remembered that he can use the levitation spell. As a result, he made Elsa levitate, and they could fly together. Elsa was impressed by Toya. Toya then said that he learned the spells to fight against the phrase demons. Then he flew in the sky and he discovered his friends. So Toya welcomed his new residents to his Brunhilde kingdom. Suddenly God called him, and on the phone the goddess of love wanted to talk with Toya. The goddess of love saw that he was in love mode, so she suggested that he should now spend a lot of time with his fiancée. The goddess of love wished him good luck with his wives. In the afternoon, Toya met Yahi's parents, and they gave Toya their blessing. Then Toya said he was glad not to fight against his father. Suddenly her father got the idea to test Toya's power, but Yahi didn't want them to fight. Yahi's parents could see the passion of their love. As a result, Yahi's parents wished them both to be happy together. Followed then, Toya visited Elsa and Linz's family. The twins' uncle Toya thought he would be punished by the new king. The daughter then apologized that he was talking nonsense. Toya immediately tried to calm him down, and Aunt Lana understood why her niece loved Toya. She understood that he is a very good-hearted boy. Then Toya was asked if he is strong as the king of their nation. Toya was asked if he can defeat strong bears. So he found out about the monster problem, and he wanted to go get rid of it later. After the hunt of the bears, Toya drank tea at his cafe. Suddenly Ende appeared, and Toya asked him about the phrase. Ende told him that the phrase had come from another world looking for a special core. The demons attack humans because the core of their king is hidden in a human. The king of Fraz communicates with sounds, but the beating heart of the humans are too loud. As a result, they kill the innocent people to find the core. Then Toya learned that 5,000 years ago, the barrier was suddenly repaired, and the danger was gone. Toya then asked Ende if he is a good or a bad person. He replied that he is just a guy, who is just trying to get humanity more time by hunting down the phrase demons. Then Ende said goodbye, and he just said that he is a traveler. Toya was concerned about the new information about the phrase. He then questioned Rosetta about the frame gear weapon. Toya wanted to copy the weapon against the frame demon, but Rosetta said it isn't possible. The weapon is very difficult to build, and they don't have enough materials to craft the new machines. As a result, Toya decided to track down the other islands of Babylon in order to get hold of the phrase gear. After that, his pets wanted to support him, and they told Toya about the Red Monarch. Toya learned that the Red Monarch can control thousands of birds. So Kohaku said that the Red Monarch is very nice and a calm monster. However, with the support of Kohaku and his other pet, Toya summoned a new monarch. Then a huge flame bird appeared, with a majesty performance. His pets were happy to see the Red Monarch again. Then Kohaku asked the Red Monarch to make a familiar contract with Toya. Toya was surprised that he didn't want to test him first, so he got a new pet right away. This is how Toya named his new pet, Koyoku. Then Koyoku should use her power, and she ordered the birds to search for the island of Babylon. The birds immediately flew to the sky, and Toya was confident of finding other pieces of Babylon islands.